What you're looking at here is a Ruger Mark IV magazine. I use this magazine in my Ruger Mark IV Hunter, and this magazine will also fit in any Mark III also. But the point I'm making here is what I want to do is I want to show you how to disassemble, clean, and reassemble the magazine. I looked all over YouTube and can't find anything, and I figured out a way to do it a little bit easier to get the reassembly easier than what it usually happens, because when you try to put the spring back in, the spring kinks up and it takes a lot of patience to get it done. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a 1/16 inch punch. Now you can use a 1/16 inch punch, or you can use an Allen wrench, a small Allen wrench about this diameter, and on the bottom of the floor plate is a hole. I don't know if you can see this or not, but in that hole is a pin and the spring that makes the magazine go up and down. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the punch and we're going to put it in the hole and depress the pin. And we're going to depress it just far enough so that we can get the follower out a little bit. Now when you take the floor plate off. And when you take the floor plate off, you're going to want to cover the bottom of the magazine with your finger as you pull the floor plate off, because you don't want the spring to come flying out, because I guarantee you it will. So we're going to push that forward, and again I'm capturing the pin with my finger, and we're slowly going to let the pin come out of the magazine. And we're going to pull the spring out until we get this little pin, which is what you use to hold the follower down when you load the magazine. We're going to bring that down until the pin faces this opening, and then we're going to turn the magazine upside down and line it up a little bit more in the center, and just lift the magazine out, and the pin will come out. It will fall right out, and then you pull the follower out. Okay, I now have a 22 caliber cleaning patch, which I'm going to thread on here. Should have done this beforehand. And you're going to saturate this patch with whatever gun cleaner you use, whether it be hops, CLP, Ballistol. It doesn't matter, as long as it's some kind of gun cleaner. I'm not saying one particular product will work and anything else won't. Anything will work. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this patch that's saturated with solvent, and we're going to run it up and down inside the magazine, cleaning out the inside of the magazine. And I'm doing this end first. Now I'm going to come back and do the back end. Okay, and you could also turn the magazine around and do it again in this way. Now this magazine is clean, that's why you're not seeing a lot of dirt coming out of here. Now, what happens is whenever you have any kind of semi-automatic weapon that's magazine fed, you get a lot of fouling inside of the magazine here, especially at this end, and this can cause a problem of possible misfeeds and ejection problems, because the follower is getting jammed up inside of there because of all the dirt. So we've cleaned out the magazine, and it's got the solvent in it. Now we're going to dry out the magazine. And what I have here is a rag, and I'm going to put a portion of this rag in here. And I'm going to take the punch and see if I can pull this up forward. And I'm going to try to get this all the way through to the top of the magazine, like so. Okay, and we're going to just pull this back and forth a little bit, trying not to let the other end come out, just so we can dry out the inside of the magazine. But if there's any residue left over from the gun cleaning solution, I'm sure it's not going to hurt anything, but you want to try to get it as dry as possible. Okay, now we're going to start with the reassembly. Notice the orientation of the magazine and the follower. Okay, we're going to put the follower in, and we're going to bring it up just so we get that little hole lined up there. And we're going to take this pin, and I have big fingers, so I'm going to use a pair of tweezers, and we're going to drop the pin inside the hole. Nothing ever works right when you're trying to do this. There we go. Okay, now we're going to go back to the punch here. Now this is the problem you have with reassembling this magazine. Once you push everything forward, okay, you have to get the rest of this spring inside of the magazine. And if you try to put it in gently, the further you go, the more the spring is going to start to kink up on you. Okay, and it won't go in the magazine. It starts to kink up, and it's just difficult to get in. So what I've discovered by trial and error, I'm going to take my punch and I'm going to stick it in this hole and try to grasp it in the coil of the springs and bring this spring up as far as I can. And push this in a little bit. Now that I have that in, I can let go of the punch. And I'm still holding this in. And then we're going to grab the floor plate. And we're going to slide the floor plate back in. And when it's in all the way, you'll hear it snap. The floor plate's locked in there. Magazine is ready to go. It's got a lot of spring tension, as you can see. Pull that back. Ow, and you hurt your thumb too. Let's try this again, but see what I mean. So that's what I found. The easiest thing to do is stick the punch in here, put it in between the coils of the spring, and drag it forward. And then once you have that in there, as you saw, you put the follower back in. So I hope this is helpful to you, and I have something else that I want to explain to you. This gun here is the Ruger Mark IV Hunter, and this is the same gun that this magazine goes into. Now, somewhere around 2018, I think, Ruger discovered a problem with this gun, whereas there's a problem with the safety. If for some reason you're firing the gun and somehow or another the safety gets stuck in between safe and fire, you'll pull the trigger and you'll hear it click, and you think it's a misfire or something like that, and then you would take and put this back on fire and the gun would accidentally discharge and fire. So in order to avoid any future problems, Ruger decided that everybody should return their Mark IVs, no matter what it is, whether it's this style or if it's the 2245 Light. Any kind of Mark IV should have the safety retrofitted, or new safety retrofitted into the gun. Now, and a way to tell this is when the gun on the older version, when you put the safety down on fire, you'd see a red dot And then when you put the safety, when you put it on fire, you see the red dot. When you put the safety on, you would see a white dot. Now, if you'll notice here, there's a little S on here. And this is the retrofit, this is the new upgraded retrofitted safety, which Ruger puts in at no charge to you. And they do it, they're very good about doing this. What you do is you can go onto their website, which I'll put a link in the description box. The website is ruger.com/Mark IV recall. Click on that and that'll give you information on the recall. Now it depends on what year the gun was made, but if it doesn't have this S on here and it's just a white dot, you have the old safety, and there's a very slim potential of it happening. I've tried to do this, put it halfway between safe and fire, not on this, or before it was fixed, and I couldn't get it to fire. But Ruger is just trying to cover themselves to make sure that there's no liability or no damages, and most importantly, nobody gets accidentally shot. Now, when you go to the website, you're going to enter in the serial number of your gun, and they will tell you if it's been retrofitted or if it's been fixed. Again, it depends on the age of the gun. I think this recall started in 2018, and it's still in effect as of now. So what you would do is you go on the website and you enter in the information, like I said, the serial number. They'll tell you if it needs to be repaired or not. And then you'll enter in your personal information, name, address, phone number, email address, so forth and so on. And what Ruger will do, they'll ship you an envelope with a box inside of it. And you have to make up the box. And what you're going to do is you put the gun on safe, make sure the magazine is out, and you're going to remove the barrel and receiver from the frame of the gun. Okay, and this is the only part that you're going to be sending back. Now, because this particular piece does not have a serial number on it, the serial number is on the receiver and barrel assembly. Okay, unless you're a firearms dealer, you're not allowed to send this through the U.S. mail. But what you're doing is sending this part here, which the ATF does not consider the gun because it doesn't have a serial number on it. I mean, you can't shoot anybody with this thing right here if you tried. So you're going to put this into the box and seal the box up, and then just drop it in any mailbox. As I said before, you don't have to take it to an FFL. You can just drop it in the box. If you were shipping the whole gun back with the barrel and receiver, then you would need to ship it through an FFL dealer, because it's illegal to ship any kind of serialized portion of the gun through the U.S. mail. You would have to, if that was the case, you would have to use FedEx or UPS or some other type of carrier, but not the mail. With this, you just drop it in the box, seal the box up, drop it in the mailbox, and Ruger will take it and they will retrofit a new safety in here for you. And for your inconvenience of not having the gun, Ruger has gone ahead and they will return this to you with the retrofitted safety, and they'll also give you another magazine to go with the gun. And even more, they'll give you a cleaning cloth. You know, like one of these cloths like this that's saturated with some kind of silicone or something like that. You know, or something you would use to wipe the gun down after you're cleaning it so it doesn't rust. Because guns, whether you know it or not, have two enemies, rust and politicians. We can control the rust with oil, but we can't always control the politicians. The only way to do that is at the voting booth. So I hope this has been helpful to you. As I said, the The website is ruger.com/MarkIV recall. Not in the number 4, the letters I and V. Ruger.com/MarkIV recall. And as I said, I'll put a description, or I'll put a link to the website in the description box. So I hope everybody's learned something here, and be safe out there and follow all of the firearm safety rules so that we can all live to see another day.